Welcome into the Fans Only Sports Network, and welcome back to New London, Connecticut for our second of two games as the Tenfold Storm take on the Southern New London County Mutiny. Charlie Adams on play-by-play, Evan Morell on camera as we are ready to kick things off for Game 2. After Game 1, the 14U Mutiny fell 37-0 against the Central Mass Rockhoppers. Rockhoppers built up a big lead in the first half and added on slightly in the second, with running clock across the entirety of the second half. We'll see what this game brings. You have the Storm in the black jerseys to the left of your screen ready to kick off. They come from Braintree, Massachusetts, taking on the white jerseys of the Mutiny. Thank you to all our sponsors scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and their logos as well, switching away in the bottom right corner. Charter Oak Federal Credit Union, the Coastal Crave Nutrition, Gutters by More, Fans Only Sports Network, etc. 15U football action here. Ready to kick off. 12-minute quarters. Both teams set to go. Sun setting, wind blowing on a beautiful Saturday evening. Everyone awaiting the opening kickoff. And now the referees almost to the point where we can kick it away. Thought we got here just in time, but bit of a delay as we await things. Pretty good crowd here in New London, home of New London High School. The Whalers call this facility home, and baseball field directly behind. Softball field up top. Soccer field / second football field behind us. It's a very impressive facility here, and also a very nice press box as well, which is always appreciated. And now coaches are conferring at midfield as we still await the opening kickoff here from New London. Charlie Adams here for the Fans Only Sports Network for our second of two games. Moments away from a kickoff. Still talking at midfield. Players on the field, keeping loose, stretching out here. Gearing up for the eventual kickoff. For those interested at home, the Red Sox-Minnesota Twins game has resumed action after a rain delay over in Boston. And there's been plenty of weather forecasted in the future. And everyone still talking things over. We're going to step aside here on the Fans Only Sports Network. We'll be back when game action appears to be getting underway as we still wait for the opening kickoff with everyone lined up on the field. Welcome back into the Fans Only Sports Network, where we believe that we are about to get going with this kickoff here. Onto the field, the whistle blows, and the Tenfold Storm to kick off a squib up the middle. And immediate whistles and a flag on the play. The Storm jumping early to start it, and will now have to kick off from further away. So back up a little bit and do it again. After a long delay, the opening kickoff comes with a penalty, and we'll do it again. So ready once again to kick. Dribbler up the middle, and it's smothered and held on to. Mutiny will start in Tenfold territory. Very advantageous field position here for their opening drive from the 47-yard line for the Storm. Again, if you're just joining us, the Tenfold Storm in black on the left of your screen, taking on the Mutiny in the white. Breaking the huddle, we have two receivers out to the left for the Mutiny. Ready to get going. Running back to the right. Quarterback there in the yellow helmet taking the snap and handing off. And immediately the Storm all over. Coming in and taking down their man for a loss. Now 2nd and 14. On 2nd and 14, through the air, completion, and some room to run on the sideline. And out of bounds after a short gain. Approaching the marker. But a penalty on the play will make it still 2nd down as the referee walks the ball up all the way. A 15-yard penalty to make it 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 here after the penalty. And the Mutiny are on the move. Past the 40-yard line at the 38. Snap, handoff, and a run. Headed up the middle. Brought down after a short gain. Now 3rd down. Make it 2nd and 10, after the penalty got the 1st down. So 2nd and 10, drop back, throw through the air, and it goes incomplete. And we'll have a flag after the whistle. Could be unsportsmanlike or one of those penalties. And the penalty's offset And that'll make it a replay of second down. So it looked like offsetting unsportsmanlike penalties or one of those kind of penalties after the whistle. Replaying second down, the drop back, throw through the air, a completion, and another complete pass for the Mutiny. As Titus Strexfuss, one of the team captains here. Successful through the air early with his second completion. Strexfuss takes the snap, drops back. Now will scramble forward on third. Getting some room to run. He's there for a first down. Moving the chains, and the Mutiny are in business with another first down run. Another first down run as Mutiny yet to break their huddle. Now under center in the shotgun with running back to the right. Strexfuss has to chase the ball after a low or high snap, and the Tenfold Storm come in and take the football. A golden opportunity fired overhead, and it's a turnover for the Mutiny. Chasing down, couldn't come up with the ball, and there was plenty of black jerseys behind him looking for the same ball. So the Storm come up big after a promising drive for the Mutiny. So with the 1st and 10, we get our first look at the Tenfold Storm offense, and reversing field after a not promising start to the run, a first down for the Storm. Some great work there. Play looked dead in the water. Getting creative, using the athleticism to make something out of nothing. Back again, pushing forward on the ground. And another gain, this time about 4 yards. Now 2nd and 5. And getting a idea of what kind of offense we're seeing out of the Tenfold Storm. With another hard-fought run up the middle, makes it 3rd and short. 3rd and short, ball hiked, a handoff over to Ethan O'Connell, and plenty for the first down. As the Storm are in business, moving the chains here in Mutiny territory to start their first drive of the game. Lining back up here with 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. And after some promising trips on the ground, not much to write home about on the first play of the new set of downs. 2nd and 11 here. Now out of the shotgun formation. Ball snapped. Dropping back, Hudson Garrity. And a completion. Has room to run into the end zone. Did he get past the pylon? He did. A touchdown for the Tenfold Storm. And Zaven Wiggum with the touchdown and the celebration to follow. Take another look at this. Peak athleticism after the touchdown run. And the Storm strike first, heading to the end zone with the score. And now we'll look for two more. On the ground, it's O'Connell into the end zone with a successful two-point conversion. Makes it 8-0 for the Storm after a strong start on the offensive side of the ball. So Zaven Wiggum with the touchdown, the cartwheel, and the backflip. And Ethan O'Connell punches in the two-point conversion as the Storm up 8-0, capitalizing off of a fumble recovery. Here in our first quarter of action. Already a bit of tension early on with the delay pregame, and eventually we're able to get going. It looked like momentum was with the Mutiny until the high snap ended that. Now it looks like James Toland is set to kick things off after the touchdown drive for the Storm. The kick squibbed forward, caught, and collapsed on by the Mutiny. And that's where the Mutiny will start their drive, right about the 50-yard line. Make it the Mutiny 49-yard line. So still in their own territory to start things, but easily a play away. Mutiny looked good on offense, too, to start the game. Just wasn't able to finish it off. Now lined up. And the first play of the drive. Punched forward for another 7-yard gain, another productive trip on the ground for the Mutiny. Now 2nd and 4. And 2nd and 4 coming up. Jumped off sides. It looked like the defense might have jumped first, and the referee is in agreement. That'll be a first down. 5-yard penalty as the Mutiny taking advantage there. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line as the snap taken and brought up the field here for another. That's right where you kind of want to be on the ground, though. Just good 4 to 7 yards. That's very productive out of the Mutiny early on. Makes it 2nd and 5. Second and 5, and this is a lot more closely aligned to what we saw out of the 14U team in our first game today. Pretty bunched up and punching it up the middle once again for another gain, enough to move the chains. First down here. This could be the kind of game that's decided with these 2-point conversions, though. With the Storm converting theirs, you'd imagine that the Mutiny are going to go down the field and try to convert one of their own. We'll see. They're in a similar position to where they were when their first drive came to a close on the turnover. See how they manage things here. Now you'll unbunch the formation. You have 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, running back on the right side on the handoff. Yardage again, getting where it needs to be. Another 5-yard run for the Mutiny makes it 2nd and 5. On 2nd and 5, the handoff to Dorian Green for another gain, and nearly enough to move the sticks. The back stick was ready to get going, but it's 3rd and 1. Third and 1 as the Mutiny been efficient on the ground, likely to try to punch it across here on 3rd and short once again. 2 wide receivers left, 2 right, running back. On the left side is Green. It's a quarterback keeper. And enough for the first down. First down and more with 2:55 to go in the first quarter. Tenfold Storm call their first time out of the game. They lead 8-0, looking for a goal line stand when we return on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back in with 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the first quarter. First timeout used by the Storm with 13 yards to go before the Mutiny can find the end zone, and they won't on this play. Stopped up. And the clock will tick down here on 2nd and 7. The lights here in New London slowly turning on. Little by little, they are on. Sunset set for 7:46 p.m. Currently 7:37 p.m. here in Connecticut. Snap taken, handed off, up the middle, pushing forward for a short gain. Brings up 3rd down and 3rd and 2 coming up. 3rd and 2 here on the 6-yard line. Looking to convert or even just punch it in from short distance. That's only half the battle with that 2-point conversion lurking. Snap goes up and over. Deja vu as the ball's loose. Scooped up, and the Tenfold Storm have done it again. Another turnover late in the possession, and the Storm take over on 3rd down from their own goal line to possession. Scooped up and brought in. Another big play coming from Xavier Wiggum, who had the touchdown run for the Storm.
That's a crazy flavor.
And we're back underway with the 1st down run for the Storm. Late in the 1st quarter. The Storm strike again. We got a timeout called here. 1 minute and 6 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. The Storm with another big turnover as we take a break. We'll step aside here. 1st quarter finishes up when we return on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back to the Fans Only Sports Network after the injury timeout. We are back underway. Game action resumes with a run bursted outside and close for a 1st down. Another strong run. This time on the ground, it's Christian Simmons. The Storm quickly back to the line. Looking for more here. O'Connell in motion, gets the handoff. And he's way back there in his own end. And a big loss there. Brought down way behind the play. And it's going to be another timeout called from the Tenfold Storm, their second already of the first half. We'll take a timeout too. Be back with more football action for the first quarter. Welcome back after the timeout. 18.3 seconds to go. 2nd and 20 on the left hash here. And with a 2nd and 20, plenty of receivers out wide. 3 to the right side, and the snap goes way overhead off a bounce. The only thing left to do for Hudson Garrity is take a seat and take another large tackle for loss. Seconds to tick away from the first quarter, and will expire here as we'll return for second quarter action with a 3rd down and, where are we at now? 3rd down and at least 30 when we return. We'll be right back here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back here to the Fans Only Sports Network, where the Storm up against a 3rd and 19. Just 10, doing the math here. 10, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 31. There we go. 33 officially. As rolling out on 3rd and 33. The completion from Garrity moves the ball up good 4 yards, and a lot left to go on 4th down. We didn't see one punt through game 1, and I think that could quickly change. Fourth down, and they'll go for it on their own 23-yard line. The Tenfold Storm looking for a miracle here on 4th and 30 plus. A deep shot down the field by Garrity in coverage, and did he bring it in?
He brought that in. Number 6 is him.
A long way down the field. The gamble pays off.
Fabian.
Take another look here. Down the field, triple coverage, and coming through the ball with the ball is Christian Simmons. What a play there for a first down where it looked like it would take a minor miracle, and that's just about what they got. Now play continues with another good rush on the ground. It's another first down for the Tenfold Storm. a lot of things are going their way here. A great completion down the field. Garrity gave it his all, and Simmons came through with the reception. Now dropping back again. Garrity a little bit high on that throw. Goes through the hands of his receiver, Seamus Devine. And he's lucky that that's all it ended up as. Back in the shotgun. The handoff goes to O'Connell. He'll move up a couple of yards for now second down and 4. Or third down and 4, excuse me, after the incompletion on first. The Storm looking to push down the field again. This drive should be over by a lot of people would expect this drive to have ended on that 4th and 33 try. But now a high snap brought in by Garrity. He'll look to the end zone, and he'll overshoot his man. Ball falls incomplete. Brings up 4th and 4. Now over in our 14U game, we saw a 41-yard field goal that was money. Now at the 19-yard line. Or excuse me, that is not the 19-yard line anymore. Oh, yes it is. At the 19-yard line on 4th. Will we see any field goal attempts here? First, we'll have to spot the ball at the 19. But we will see the Tenfold Storm go for it here. Another 4th down attempt. This one a less Herculean effort than the first on the drive. And Garrity will look to get it through the air. Now scrambling. He's taken down. Coming through with the big effort on 4th down. And a big stop here. That'll be a turnover on downs as the Mutiny gaining some momentum. And before the Mutiny will start their drive after the crucial turnover on down stop, a flag on the play going against the Southern New London County Mutiny. That'll back things up a bit. Make it 1st and 15 before the drive can get going. Loaded formation again. Another handoff. Some life on the ground here. Pushing forward, still alive. And that will be enough for a 1st down. About a 16-yard run on the 1st and 15. Moves the chains and a good start to the drive for the Mutiny. Isaac Rivas not going down there to start the drive. Another handoff and another good gain for the Mutiny. And we've seen that the Mutiny offense is capable of moving the ball. It's just keeping it in the crucial moments. Haven't been able to do so for their first 2 drives that looked promising. Both ending with high snaps resulting in a fumble. Now we'll line up on 2nd and 1. Snap taken. It's a toss to the left. A lot of room. Enough for a first and many more. Up the sideline. Pushed out of bounds. Around the 30-yard line. And it's a first down. And the Storm now backed up into their own end. As the Mutiny pushing up the field. And now wait a second. We have a penalty on the play. It's against the Mutiny. And keep on stepping back. Referee guiding them all the way back to right where they were. So the big play on the ground from the Mutiny now a bit negated. Still a first down, but the penalty cost them plenty of progress. Now receiver to the bottom of your screen. That's Rivas. He's out wide. Cornerback playing good 7 yards off of him. And on the play, the ball's loose again. It was a run up the middle, and the ball popped free. Coming up with possession are the Tenfold Storm. So their 3rd fumble recovery. And let's take another look. The handoff up the middle, and the ball just slips free. And right there to scoop up the loose football. It's another fumble recovery. They just can't afford these turnovers here. Good sportsmanship at the end as well. But Mutiny fumbling away a chance again as the Storm continue to hold on to an 8-0 lead. We'll see if they can expand upon it on this drive, ready to get going with 8:06 to go in the second quarter. Lined up and ready to go. The Storm back on offense. Saw some miracle work in their first or their last drive. Come up empty with a turnover on downs. Now we'll see what they can manage here. First play of the drive goes for 1 yard. It's 2nd and 9. Lining back up here. 2nd and 9 from the shotgun. Garrity running back to his right. He'll roll out right by design, and the bootleg and a big catch down the field brought in nicely by his receiver. Garrity has been getting some favors here from his receiver core, and he gets another one right here with a beautiful catch brought in by Christian Simmons. And that's going to be a name that we'll call a lot today. Already have done so plenty, as it's a new first down here. And a timeout taken with 7:06 to go. We'll take one alongside them. It's 8-0. The Storm moving up into Mutiny territory as we take a break. We'll be right back here on the Fans Only Sports Network. More NEYT football coming up. Welcome back in after the timeout. 7:06 to go. The drop back completion in the backfield, and the wide receiver screen bounced outside for a good gain of about 7 on the play. Moves it up to a 2nd and 3. Dropping back, Garrity going through the air again, this time overthrowing his man. Ball falls incomplete. .621 to go after the incompletion makes it 3rd down. 3rd and 4 coming up. Dropped back. Another screen-like pass down the right side of the field now. Heading far enough to move the chains. Wrong button there. Moving the chains. It's 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Another run up the middle this time. It's O'Connell on the ground. Good gain for a 1st down run to make it 2nd and 1. Second and 1. Jumping onto defense is Dorian Green for the Mutiny. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And before any of that can happen, looks like we have a timeout called. Timeout called here. The final one of the half for the Mutiny. We'll step aside. 2nd and 1 coming up in the red zone for the Tenfold Storm when we return. Welcome back in to the Fans Only Sports Network on the other end of the timeout. 13 yards to go for the Storm. On the ground, O'Connell looks to get the job done. He does one of them by moving the chains. It'll be 1st and goal. Still some time to go before the end zone. And pushing forward, a flag's on the play. Looked to come up short there. Again, it was O'Connell on the ground. But we'll see about the flag in just a moment. Referee will move the ball back. It's a 5-yard penalty. And now the ball spotted on the 11-yard line. Or, 10-yard penalty. Ball spotted on the 16-yard line for 2nd and goal. Second and goal from the 16-yard line. We've already seen the Storm convert a 30-plus yard conversion, so 16 shouldn't be too bad. Snap taken. Garrity drops back. He'll sprint up the middle, scrambling forward, and on 2nd down, gains about 8 of it back. Around 8 to go. And the ball spotted on the 9-yard line. With an injury timeout here. Stopping play with 4:24 to go in the 2nd quarter. .424 left to play in the 2nd quarter. An injury timeout, and back up on his feet now with the help of his team, or at least coaching staff from what you can see from here. Walking off on his own power. As we are just about ready to get back on the field and resume things, the Storm still talking things over on their sideline. Now returning to the huddle, or from the huddle to the line of scrimmage with 4:24 to go on 3rd and goal. Or 2nd and goal after the penalty wiped out one of the downs, and catching a big hit on the back end of it is enough for a touchdown as the Storm grab another touchdown here to make it now a 14-0 game. Take a look here, an instant replay. Ball through the air and right to the goal line. Big collision, but just enough to cross the plane for the touchdown score. The Storm back into the end zone for the 2nd time today. Charlie Adams here, Evan Morrell on camera, as we gear up for the extra point. And it's a pass from Garrity into the end zone, and another 2-point conversion successful. Another catch through contact as well. Scrambling out to the right side and bringing it down through the contact, holding on for the conversion. It makes it 16-0 as the Storm continue to extend the lead with their 2-point conversion. The lights here in New London are officially full power, blasting on the field with the sun setting. .410 left to play in the second quarter, in the first half, as the Tenfold Storm back to kick away. And on the kickoff,
Bro, you weren't even paying.
ball gets loose,
You weren't even paying attention.
and it nearly looked like the Storm were going to be able to come up with it, but Mutiny able to recover in time, bring in the football. And eventually back now from the sideline into the huddle. We'll get back underway. 4:10 to go. Handed off. Crunched forward for a short gain. 2nd and 8 coming up. Make it 2nd and 9 as second and 7. Another bunched up formation, another snap, another high snap, and brought in, pushed forward on the keeper. It's going to be a short gain for 3rd down. Third and 5 after the 2-yard gain. Third and 5. Another run. Pushing forward and nearing the line to gain. Going to be just short. Might even be inches away. It's 4th down. And actually now the chains will move along enough for the first. So a first down coming up here with Minute 59 to go. Under 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. And we're just about ready to resume action. Under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Another handoff. Another run up the middle. And although the run game has slowed down a bit for the Mutiny, still able to pull up there with a good 5-yard run. Or 7-yard run. And another snap gets away. This one off the hands. And it's a big loss for the Mutiny. Way backwards on the play. And lucky to not have another turnover on their hands. Time ticks, under a minute to play now. Ticking away in the first half to under 30 seconds very shortly here with 3rd and long. Another promising drive derailed. And a play later. Another trip backwards here. Now 4th and long. 5 seconds to tick away, and Tenfold Storm look to not use their final timeout at the half. Clock expires, and at halftime, the Storm leads 16-0 over the Mutiny. In the second half, we'll see if the Southern New London County Mutiny can get their first points of the day. Stick around. We'll be back on the Fans Only Sports Network for more NEYT football action. Welcome back for the second half of action here on the Fans Only Sports Network. After one half, it's a 16-0 lead for the Tenfold Storm.
Anybody's looking for their phone, it's in that booth.
Thank you.
Now we are underway with the third quarter and second half of action. The Storm starting on offense, possessing a 16-point lead and moving up for a solid rush on first down. Now 2nd and 4. On the 2nd and 4 try. Not much doing, and it'll cost the Storm a yard for 3rd and 5, it looks. Maybe even 2, but we'll call it 3rd and 5. On 3rd down, pretty uneventful drive for the Storm as another short gain on the play, or maybe no gain at all, makes it 4th and 6. We ran into running clock in game 1 with the 14U teams. It's a 28-point lead for running clock, and the Storm are, of course, closer to that mark, but this drive stalling out quickly now through the air. Wide open down the field, and a big gain. Hudson Garrity drops back on 4th and does it again. Another trip down the field for the Storm. First down, catch and run. As Garrity dropped back and in stride connected for a big first down gain. Now the handoff to O'Connell. He's bursting for speed up the middle. He'll get through with a first down rush. And now the Storm are quickly moving. First down at the 10-yard line. But it looks like they'll still have a first down opportunity right at the goal line. So not quite first and goal, and likely we'll never find first and goal with such a small margin between the end zone and the first down marker, as first play on the new set of downs goes backwards for a yard at 2nd and 11. On 2nd and 11, another handoff and another short gain this time. Gets 2 yards back, and now 3rd and 9. Third and 9, and if anything, this drive's been pretty good for running out some of the clock in this third quarter. After took 4 downs to move the chains once. Now a bit of a stall here. 3rd and 9, roll out from Garrity. Garrity is collapsed in the backfield for a sack. And now a 4th and long. Fourth and 15 coming up here. This is a team that's gone for 2 both times. They could have kicked an extra point, and likely not going to change anything up here and go for a field goal. We'll see. They've been a great team on 4th down. Garrity's come to play. His wide receiving core around him has shown up as well. take a look for number 5, Christian Simmons. He'll be involved if the Mutiny defense allows him to be. And Garrity will drop back. He'll look to the end zone, tipping it around, and it falls incomplete. The 4th down try comes up empty, and it's a turnover on downs for the Tenfold Storm. Maybe the Storm's luck running out there on that 4th down try.
I ate a fucking burger the other day, bro. No.
7:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. After the turnover on downs for the Mutiny, they'll have the ball in their own end, backed up pretty well on their own 17-yard line. Looking for a big drive to get the first score that we've seen from a Southern New London County Mutiny team today after a shutout in game 1. Currently trailing by 16. Far from an impossible number to reach, especially with this much time left in the game. We'll see what they can muster here on this drive, facing 2nd and 13 to start.
Subway. You could kill a meatball Subway now, I'm not gonna lie.
Out near side and tackled down right back near the line of scrimmage, or at least the new line of scrimmage after the loss on 1st down. So it'll stay 3rd and 13 now.
Bro, I want something quick though. Quick. You hear me, right?
The 3rd and 13 through the air, up the middle of the field, completed, and that'll be good for a 1st down. Good completion up the middle to move the chains and get the Mutiny away from their own end zone. Some breathing room here out wide now.
I didn't know like 50 grams.
Now with a fresh set of downs, faked handoff, brought up the sideline, and collision into the sideline. No, not enough to stop the clock, so it stays in play.
Oh, I could tell caliente too, bro. I'll do caliente and just get a chicken. I'll do the Honduran chicken. That's mid. That's just mid.
Under 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Swarmed on the pass attempt, tipped around, and falls incomplete. Third and 9. And an unsportsmanlike penalty just been given out.
I'll do Subway, bro. I need protein. So I'm gonna get like some grilled chicken shit with some.
Or meatball sub. I can't eat that, bro.
And with that unsportsmanlike penalty, add an extra 15 yards for the Mutiny, and they'll move up right around midfield at the 46-yard line, their own 46. First and 10 after the penalty. Another pass attempt. It's complete and pushed up the middle. Now some run after the catch and after contact for the first down. Back-to-back first downs now. One from a penalty, one from a completion. And the Mutiny are on the move. Now we've seen what's come in the past couple of chances that the Mutiny have had to score. Got to keep a real close eye on these snaps here. After a few fumbles, really cost them early in this game and helped the Storm build up a lead. The drop back and a long pass downfield, and that one was wide of his receiver. The cornerback had a step on the ball. It overthrew him too. Luckily, it falls incomplete with 3:54 to go in the third quarter. Second and 10 now. Thank you to everyone tuned in, following along here live on the Fans Only Sports Network. We have all games broadcasted free on the Fans Only Sports Network live, are available for free on demand. That includes our 5 p.m. 14U matchup, and it includes this matchup at the conclusion of the game as well. As another drop back, another pass up the middle, another near interception turns into a knockdown, and it's third and 10. So third and 10 coming up. After back-to-back incompletions. Lined up to try again here. The drop back. Surveying the field, rolling left. And the pass is complete for a first down and more. Up to the 21-yard line. It's a first down for the Mutiny. Coming through. Titus Streckfuss gets the pass complete, and his receiver does the rest. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Mutiny inches from the red zone. With the completion, they'll move into the red zone with a couple yards gained on first down. It leaves 2nd and 4. Second and 4, both teams in possession of all 3 of their timeouts. We await the 2nd and 4 try here on the 15-yard line. And did someone say something about no all timeouts being still uncalled in the second half? Well, one just got called. So 16-0. The Storm lead. The Mutiny threatening to score for the first time today. We'll be back here on the Fans Only Sports Network on the other end of this timeout. Welcome back in. On the other side of the timeout, the Mutiny yards away here at the 15-yard line. The toss to the left, cutting backwards and pushing through.
Yeah, look, you heard the smack. Boom.
3rd and 4. No gain on the last play. As the Mutiny will break the huddle. Receiver at the bottom, or the bottom of your screen, the right of the formation. Nearly was way offsides. He's back now. Now,
So rude.
2 receivers out to the right. One in line with the formation as the completions right round the line of scrimmage, maybe even a step backwards on that pass attempt with now 4th down and 4 coming up. Mutiny trying to make the most of their chance down the field. A 4th down opportunity here to keep the drive alive. Coming up, 4th and 4, 2 minutes and a second left to play in the 3rd quarter. 15 yards from the end zone. Shotgun formation, running back to the right. Snap is fumbled, ball stays on the ground, and either way, it will be Tenfold Storm taking possession. And again, it's another mishandled snap. It's a turnover on downs as the Storm take over at the 25-yard line.
Bro, they should just waste time.
So 75 yards to go down the field for the Storm after a strong stop in the red zone. Starting with a handoff. Getting free to the outside. Can he beat the last man down the sideline? And it's a good tackle to stop the attempt. Nearly went all the way. Went down hard to get the tackle, bringing down Sire Copeland. And the player down on the field. And we'll step aside for an injury timeout here on the Fans Only Sports Network. 16-0. The Storm quickly into Mutiny territory to start their drive. Welcome back to the Fans Only Sports Network after the injury. Clock is back running for the 3rd quarter and a sack on Garrity as we resume play. Second and long coming up.
I don't know where you went.
Second and 14. Under a minute officially left to play here in the third quarter. And after that, just one more quarter of football action. As the Mutiny still looking to get on the board. They had a red zone chance. Ended up in a turnover on downs. And now, again, the Storm working their way up the field with a run there on second down to leave them 11 yards to gain. Third and 11. Garrity drops back, looks downfield. His receiver has his man beat, but the throw not where it needed to be. Falls incomplete with 20 seconds to go in the third. Now 4th and 11, looming to conclude the third quarter. And an injury on the field. There hasn't been a fourth down that the Tenfold Storm have shied away from, even though there's been plenty of chances to do so. When it was a 33-yard try, didn't shy away. When it was backed up all the way into their own end, didn't shy away. And for the most part, it's worked out in their favor. And we'll see if it will work out in their favor again on the other side of this break. Injury timeout here from New London. Will be back on the other side of the break. You're watching NEYT football on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back. 4th and 11 coming up here in the third quarter. Maybe the last play of the quarter. We'll see how long the Storm can stretch out this attempt on 4th and 11 from the Mutiny 39-yard line. The drop back from Garrity. He'll look down the right sideline. Separation, and it's overthrown. Ball falls incomplete. And that leaves 15 seconds to play with for the Mutiny. Couple shots downfield maybe to close out. Actually, what am I talking about? They'll have the ball in the fourth. So the Mutiny have 15 seconds to play with in the third quarter, and then will continue their drive into the fourth. Looking to get on the board in what's still a two-possession game. Perfectly reasonable margin to make up in a quarter's time. Just need back-to-back possessions. And that should be enough to get the difference maker across. But we haven't seen a score from the Mutiny all day. We'll hope to see it in the fourth or maybe in this last play to close out the third quarter. Timeout currently, and we'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back. Mutiny start their drive on the other side of this break. Welcome back into the Fans Only Sports Network. Mutiny back on the field to start their drive here in the third quarter, and likely will be one play until they'll resume in the fourth. .6 seconds, the official time remaining in the third. And I was going to say it, but the flag will say it for me. It's a false start on the offense, and that'll draw us back 5 yards before we get resumed here. So 1st and 15. Once again with 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. And on the likely last play of the third quarter, the Mutiny make up their penalty yards and a bit more for a 9-yard gain. We'll have 2nd and 6 when we return for fourth quarter action coming up next here on the Fans Only Sports Network. After 3, the Storm lead 16-0. Welcome back to the Fans Only Sports Network for our fourth quarter of action. We'll start with a 2nd and 6. And that 2nd and 6 turns into a first down run to start off the fourth quarter. Not a bad way to get things going. And the Mutiny set up exactly at midfield, 50-yard line for their next play here in the fourth quarter. And on the first down run, couple yards, 2nd and 8 coming up. And they actually bumped it up a yard, it looks like. It's now 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7 snapped, handed off up the left side. Approaching the line to gain maybe a yard short here. And that is where he'll be. It'll be 3rd and 1. Nightfall here in Connecticut. Bugs have come out to play all around New London, infiltrating the press box a bit with our open window. Luckily, this moth prefers the light instead of humans, as the 3rd and 1 rush should be enough for the first down. It's going to be a little bit close looking at where the referees are. Right along the line, but I'd say it's enough to move the chains. We'll see where they spot it here on 3rd down. That moth is no longer with us, but the first down and some more after a penalty for the Mutiny. So it's a first down from the 25-yard line for the Mutiny here. 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Looking through the air, and it's overthrown, incomplete. Now 2nd and 10. Just out of reach. Stops the clock with 8:55 to go.
They had the push.
Second and 10 coming up. Nearing the red zone. Motion. Handoff up the middle instead. And now pushing after. And that might be enough to move the chains, and it certainly will be. Into the red zone and nearly 1st and goal. But we'll get a timeout called here on the field with 8:41 to go in the 4th quarter. Another red zone chance here for the Mutiny. We'll be right back on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back into the Fans Only Sports Network. Off the timeout. It's 1st and 10 on the 13-yard line for the Mutiny, who have had opportunities across this game and haven't been able to capitalize. Maybe this time on the ground, heading to the outside, and the Southern New London County Mutiny are on the scoreboard for the first time here today. Bounding outside and in. It's a score for the Mutiny, courtesy of Titus Streckfuss on the ground.
That was neat. That was 0.
Now the chance here likely going to be a 2-point conversion instead of an extra point attempt, chasing that 16. And it does appear they'll line up for a 2-point try. Sprinting outside, and that was a well-executed 2-point conversion. Easily ran into the end zone, and that much closer to tying this game. In the fourth quarter, the deficit cut in half with a Streckfuss touchdown on the ground and a successful 2-point conversion to follow. This game got a lot more interesting here now. 8:34 to go in the fourth. One-score game. As we're ready now to kick off again here. Mutiny heading back onto the field to kick it away. Ball placed on the tee. And Noah Planeta will squib it. And good job there to get some solid field position. At least if you're rooting for the Mutiny, gets past a good amount of people before settling up around the 30-yard line. Squibs its way by, causes a little bit of chaos, and settles into some solid field position here. The Storm, their lead is in danger now. And quickly, it might not be in danger anymore. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. The Tenfold Storm take one play to answer back. Long way down the field, and he was not coming back. Breaking past the pack quickly and in for the score. Take another look here. Exploding through the middle and way past everyone. It's another explosive play for the man there, number 5, Christian Simmons. He's had a highlight reel evening, and it continues there with that touchdown. Now we'll see about the 2-point conversion. Gotten used to seeing it. And we'll check it out again here. Receiver out to the bottom of the screen, actually off the camera right now, and 3 to the left. As the snap's taken, a drop back, and there he is. He was hiding over there. It's Seamus Devine getting the pass from Garrity and a successful 2-point conversion. And the Storm quickly take the wind out of the Mutiny's sails. Take one play to get down the field thanks to Christian Simmons. And that's all it's really going to take for this game. Right when you think that the Mutiny are back, they give it up. The Tenfold Storm drive right back in and score another. Now 24-8. And time not on their side for the Mutiny. 8:22 to go in the fourth quarter. with the Storm set to kick off here. Have to admit, after the 14U game blowout from essentially the start of the game, this has been a much more exciting game. A lot more passing, a lot more big plays when you go up from 14U to 15U. And a lot of it has come from Christian Simmons for the Tenfold Storm. And the kickoff coming. Goes in the air and can't be brought in cleanly on the fly. Picked up. The return will get a couple more yards. The ball is loose. Play was already whistled dead. But if it wasn't, the Storm were all over that ball. But play was whistled dead first at the 31-yard line for the Mutiny, and that's where they'll start the drive. Near disaster. Seconds from it. Turns into the start of the drive at the 32-yard line. They keep moving up. They're up to the 33 now. So from the 33-yard line, we'll start the drive. Snap taken, handed off, and it is a solid gain on the first play of the drive. Nothing matching what we just saw, but certainly productive for the Mutiny on first down to move the chains and make it again 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 from the now 44-yard line, still in their own end for Southern New London County. Snap taken, handed off, and bursting up the middle with speed, shaking some tackles, and brought down with a 7-yard gain for 2nd and 3. Well in bounds, we'll keep the clock running. Again, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. And also, this game and last game available on demand immediately following the conclusion. Right here on our YouTube channel. You just head over and go into the live tab. Should be an easy way to find it. Has a broken tackle, gets some daylight, and the Mutiny with another 1st down on the ground. You can check out our YouTube page. Head to the live tab. You can scroll through all of our broadcasts there. You can also just look us up on YouTube. Hopefully, if you look up the title of this game, SNLC Mutiny versus Tenfold Storm, you'll be able to find what you're looking for, and we'll keep that game a lot free on demand for however long the channel's alive. I don't know what would stop it from being available, but great opportunity for, screen recording, finding all the highlights as somebody jumped there, and that will cost the team some yards here as it's a false start on the offense. Back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. Stops the clock with 6 minutes to go in the 4th. Another flag tossed on the field here. It's against the Mutiny again. And it was already a 1st and 15. Now, here we go. All the way back. Nice. Now, really struggling to count these yards today. 1st and 35. Okay. I was almost there, but 1st and 35 as we resume action here. On the ground, a short gain.
Sportsmanlike.
Short gain on 1st down. And now it's 2nd and 40, or 2nd and 31, I believe. Or 2nd and 27, okay. Blindly trusting the scoreboard, but 2nd and 27 on the 44-yard line. Now back into Mutiny's own 44-yard line, or 47-yard line after the gain. Handed off and brought up, heading back towards the original line of scrimmage and down at the Tenfold 43-yard line. From the 43-yard line, we'll leave them with a good 3rd and 17. So doing what they can to build back after back-to-back penalties set them a well ways behind the line of scrimmage. Snap, and it will be kept. Pushed forward, bouncing out, and now out of bounds, and we got a flag on the hit, maybe a late hit as he was traveling out of bounds. And after penalties got them all the way backed up, now a penalty should bring them a 1st down and a eventful back and forth drive here. Unless it's an automatic 1st down, I don't know if it'll be enough. Referee still talking with the sideline. Now we'll get the call. It's against the defense, of course. And now we'll walk it up the field. And it will be a 1st down. 15-yard penalty. Brings the ball up to the 22-yard line. And the Mutiny on the doorstep of the red zone once again. Another rush coming from the Mutiny. Working forward. Up now to the... They'll leave it at the 13-yard line. And actually, it'll be enough to move the chains for a 1st down. So a 1st down run here. 3.5 to go in the 4th quarter. It will take a lot to come back here, down 16 with 3.5 to go. But it all starts with the first one, and Mutiny are approaching doing just that. Lined up here now in the red zone. Another handoff. This one has some life, pushing forward, heading towards the goal line, and not there, just barely off the mark. Held up just short. That'll make it 2nd and 1. There still is a 1st down opportunity for a short run, but it won't be necessary as crossing the goal line, the Mutiny are in with a score, their 2nd touchdown of the game. Another touchdown on the ground. coming alive in the second half after a scoreless first half. And another chance here on the two-point conversion attempt. And running it back the other way to Tenfold Storm. We'll get another look at this play here as a lot of chaos broke out and player down on the aftermath of the play. But what we do know is try unsuccessful for the Mutiny there. Take another look at this play here in instant replay. The two-point conversion attempt. Handed off. Ball stripped free. And play was whistled dead. Tenfold Storm tried to take it down the field, and there you go with the injury as well. That's where we are now. 24-14. 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here from New London. You're watching NEYT football on the Fans Only Sports Network. We will be right back in time for kickoff after the touchdown drive for the Mutiny. We'll be right back. Stick around. Attaboy. Welcome back to the Fans Only Sports Network. 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Charlie Adams on play-by-play. Evan Morrell on camera. The onside attempt has some life in it. It's pushed forward, and the Storm able to jump on top of it. The Storm hold one timeout. Storm hold one timeout. The Mutiny hold two. Two and a half minutes to go. Bunched up formation from the Storm, and this drive has lasted longer than their last drive, with the play not being a first play touchdown. It's a rush up the middle for about 5 yards, make it 2nd and 5. Second and 5, and the Storm sticking to the script here. Will likely be able to run out the rest of this clock here with a toss and rush up the middle, and maybe not. Now, no gain on that one. Couple, maybe 1 yard. Make it 3rd and 4. But the clock continues to tick down here from New London High School. Barring another long rush from someone like Christian Simmons, it'll finish a 24-14 game. Now 4th and inches, really. No, they will move the chains, so it's 1st and 10. And clock, a minute to go. First and 10 here. Officially under a minute. Couple more plays, and it will be in the books. The toss is mishandled, and it's going to be a loss on the play. Clock will continue to run down. Now 2nd and 15 with just over 30 seconds to go. And one knee, and that will do it on the game. So your final score, 24-14. The Storm take it over to Mutiny. And it was a pretty competitive game, especially towards the end. It got towards a one-possession game, but it was the Tenfold Storm ahead all night long. A shutout first half. Christian Simmons, some spectacular catches, some great runs, and it was an exciting offense out of the Storm all evening long. And we were glad that you were able to watch us here live all evening long as well. So that'll do it for our broadcast here. Both games on the Fans Only Sports Network will be available on demand at the conclusion for free, just like this broadcast was available for free. Thank you to all the sponsors on for the NEYT that helped make this broadcast possible. And thank you for tuning in. On behalf of my cameraman, Evan Morrell, I'm Charlie Adams saying thank you for watching. Final score, Storm 24, Mutiny 14. We'll see you next time here on the Fans Only Sports Network.